Emma clutched her books tightly as she navigated the crowded high school hallway. Laughter erupted nearby, accompanied by whispers that sent a chill down her spine. Her heart sank further as she realized the whispers were about her. She kept her eyes on the ground, hoping to avoid the piercing stares and cruel comments. "Freak," one student muttered under their breath as they passed. Emma's cheeks burned, but she didn't respond. She had learned that silence was her safest shield, even if it left her feeling invisible. At home, the walls of her bedroom felt less like a refuge and more like a prison. Emma scrolled through her phone, trying to distract herself, but instead, she was greeted by another cruel meme. It featured her in an unflattering light, shared by classmates who found humor in her pain. Tears welled in her eyes as she threw her phone onto the bed and buried her face in her hands. Her mother knocked softly on the door and peeked inside. "Emma, honey, is everything okay?" Emma forced a smile and wiped her face quickly. "I'm fine, Mom. Just tired." Her mother lingered, concern etched on her face, but she didn't press further. Emma's silence was her way of coping, though inside, she felt like she was falling apart. The once vibrant, artistic girl she used to be seemed like a distant memory, buried under layers of fear and sadness. One rainy afternoon, as Emma cleaned out her closet, her hand brushed against a dusty sketchbook. She hesitated, then pulled it out and flipped through its pages. Each drawing transported her back to a time when she felt confident and free. She had drawn fantastical worlds, dreamscapes filled with colors and life. Seeing those images now brought a lump to her throat. Could she ever feel that way again? She grabbed a pencil and turned to a blank page. Her hand trembled as she started to draw. The lines were shaky at first, but as she continued, her confidence grew. For the first time in months, she felt a glimmer of peace. Drawing became her escape, a way to pour out her emotions and make sense of her pain. At school, her art teacher announced an upcoming competition. "This is your chance to showcase your talent," he said. "Don't hold back. Let the world see what you can do." Emma's heart raced. She wanted to participate, but the thought of putting herself out there was terrifying. What if her classmates mocked her again? What if she failed? That night, she sat at her desk staring at the blank canvas in front of her. Doubts swirled in her mind, but a small, determined voice whispered, "You can do this." Emma began sketching late into the night. Each brush stroke was a release, each color a reflection of her journey. She painted a scene of a lone tree standing tall in a storm, its branches reaching upward despite the raging winds. It was her story, her resilience in the face of relentless challenges. The day of the competition arrived, and Emma stood nervously by her easel as students and judges wandered through the gallery. Her heart pounded with every passing glance. Whispers filled the room, but for once they weren't about mocking her. "This is incredible," she overheard one of the judges say, pausing in front of her painting. Emma felt a flicker of hope. For the first time in years, she wasn't invisible. People were seeing her for who she truly was. When the principal took the stage to announce the winners, Emma's heart felt like it might burst. And the first place award goes to Emma Taylor. The room erupted in applause. Emma's hands shook as she stepped forward to accept her ribbon. Tears filled her eyes as she looked out at the audience. She had done it. She had faced her fears and won. The next day at school, everything felt different. Students who had once ignored her now approached her with kind words. "Emma, your painting was amazing," one classmate said. "You're so talented." "Yeah," another added. "It was really inspiring." Emma smiled shyly, her heart swelling with gratitude. She realized that her journey wasn't just about proving others wrong. It was about proving to herself that she was more than their words, more than their judgment. At home, Emma pinned the blue ribbon to her sketchbook and wrote a new entry in her journal. Today, I learned that my voice matters. My story matters. Her art teacher approached her a week later with a new opportunity. Emma, there's an organization looking for young artists to mentor younger kids. I think you'd be perfect for it. Emma's eyes lit up. Me? Really? Absolutely, the teacher said. Your story can inspire others. Emma agreed, and soon she was teaching art to children who, like her, had struggled to find their confidence. She shared her journey with them, encouraging them to use art as a way to express themselves. Watching their smiles and hearing their laughter reminded her of how far she had come. Years later, Emma would look back on this moment as the turning point in her life. What had once been her greatest source of pain had become her greatest strength. Her story had the power to heal not just herself, but others as well. As the screen fades to black, a quote appears. Your story is your strength. Let it shine. If Emma's story resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Together, we can spread hope and kindness.